quick second. Did that fix it? Hold on 1 second. What the fuck's the problem here? Just trying to make sure my my Ethernet cable is connected. Alright, that should have fixed it. That fucking did not fix it. What the fuck? Let's see if that did it. Nah, well, I think it'll be alright. I think it'll be alright. For some reason, my Ethernet cable's not connecting, but hopefully the Wi-Fi will work all right. I don't seem to be laggy, so I think we're all right. I think we're all right. All right. Are you guys ready for the big day today? Today's an important day. Today's a big one. Today, we are going to be ranking the top 17 greatest fighters of all time. We're going to get into my criteria for what makes the greatest fighter right now. This right here is our criteria. Beautiful bed. Thank you for the 10 HK. A Shea stream a day keeps the doctor away. I'm really glad to hear that, beautiful bed. I agree, man. I agree. I completely agree with you there. Let me, just in case I fucked up, let me raise this even higher just so I can make sure for absolute positivities that all the fighters are going to be covered up. Beautiful bed. I love you, by the way, man. I love you. So listen. Yeah, we're good. We're good with that. In fact, I can probably actually lower that a little bit. So here's the thing, and I want you guys to know, that I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about my placing. Listen, Lagler, that's where I actually really disagree with you. That's where I completely disagree with you. I love how, and it's so funny that the MMA community is the only people that do this. It's like great, the term greatness is already so subjective. This is my definition of greatness. I think the greatest fighter is the best fighter. That's what I think, right? There's not like some solid, you're pretending like there's some solid difference between the two. There's not. If you ask somebody who are your top 10 greatest basketball players of all time, and someone goes, well, I got LeBron at number 1, they're going to go, no, Michael Jordan was way better. Oh, better? Not greater? Better? Not greater? No, this is just my definition of greatness. I think the greatest fighter is the best fighter. That's what I think. If you go, well, no, actually, John Jones is the greatest because of all this title defense, I'd say, no, I disagree. That's not greatness to me. That's not greatness. That is not greatness. That's not greatness. This is my definition of greatness. Oh, 514 Crip, thank you for the $2 Canadian. Why is Buchecha terrible in MMA? What should he change? His cardio sucks. He's not like old for a fighter standards, but like MMA is such a young man's game, and he's like 35. He's like turning 36 somewhat. He's pushing 36, and he only has 7 professional fights. I'd like you to have 7 professional fights by the age of like 25. You know what I mean? His cardio sucks. He's old. Shoka, thank you for the $5, dude. I really, really appreciate it, man. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Bennett Fender, like it's so funny that it's like no. Like it's like no. I mean, if that's what your definition is great, well, this is my list, and this is my definition of greatness. This is my definition of greatness. You know what I mean? My definition. If you were to say, well, this guy's greater because of these accolades, I'd say, yeah, but to me, for these reasons, those accolades aren't impressive. To me, level of competition dictates whether an accolade's impressive. Therefore, he's not great to me. That's not greatness. That's not greatness to me. You know what I mean? And that's what I think it should be. That's what I think it should be. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, that is what dictates who's the greatest or not, is your effectiveness as a fighter. I do think accolades matter, but accolades only matter when your level of competition dictates that said accolade is actually a good accolade. You know what I mean? It's like, oh well, I have 16 title defenses against nobodies. That's not greatness. That's not greatness. That's not greatness to me. That's not greatness. Now listen, guys. I don't want to preempt any criticism here, but I, as you guys know, I'm a straight shooter. And I'm really big on honesty here. So initially, this was gonna be the top 15 greatest fighters of all time, and I had an entire list put together that I thought was good. And then as I was making the thumbnail, I was like, oh, I completely forgot somebody. I was like, fuck, I forgot somebody. So then I was like, okay, well, who am I going to take out? And I was like, okay, we're doing 16. And then as I'm putting all the fighters on the tier list, as like I'm collecting them all, I realized again I forgot somebody else. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing 17. So look, I'm not trying to preempt criticism, but you know, that may to some people speak to this list not being great. Whatever. I think this is solid. All right. And listen, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will back up every single claim here. Lucas loves Phil. Thank you for the €2. Love your videos, man. You seem like a great guy. Aw, thank you, Luca. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. That's very kind. Thank you. I love you a lot. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I am only asking of one thing, please. I'm only asking of one thing from you guys. Listen. All I need from you guys is when I place somebody on here, just guys, please give me a second to explain. All right, please give me a second to explain. Okay, that's all I ask. Now, just to define the criteria a little bit better, right? Effectiveness is essentially the number one thing we're looking for. Again, I do believe accolades matter, but accolades only matter when your level of competition actually dictates whether or not that's impressive or not. You could have a million title defenses. If it's against nobodies, then that's not greatness to me. You know what I mean? Like, good job, Andrew Tate. You were a 4-time kickboxing world champion against, like, not the premier fucking, in, like, a very low-level kickboxing professional league. So, like, that's not greatness, bro. You know what I mean? That's not greatness to me, you know? So, like, the reason I use the word effectiveness is because the word, here's the hard thing about MMA is that lighter man skill is a real thing. To say that, like, the criteria is just all skill, well, then it's only going to be lower weight classes. But here's the thing. Lower weight classes have more skill. Higher weight classes have better attributes. You know what I mean? There is no way in a million years that you can accurately compare Francis Ngannou to fucking Petr Yan. You literally cannot compare the two. Because, like, you know, Francis Ngannou has these attributes that are fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, to literally take the 250-pound Cyril Gane and, like, pick him up and pile drive him like it was nothing. A bantamweight fighter could literally never do that. Like, Merab Dvalishvili is probably the strongest bantamweight we've ever seen. He can't do that. He can't do that. You know what I mean? No bantamweight has the power, you know what I mean, that a fucking heavyweight would have. So it's like you have to kind of gauge sort of skill to attribute. So that's why just effectiveness is what we're looking at. How effective are you as a fighter? All right. How effective are you as a fighter? Because I remember last time we did this, that was a big thing of contention. And people would try to be like, well, okay, but if you grew Petr Yan up to a heavyweight, he would destroy Francis Ngannou. And it's like, well, he's going to be way slower. He's going to be way slower, way ploddier. How does his power translate up there? I mean, is he going to be getting picked up and just ragdolled by Francis Ngannou because he doesn't have the same attributes that he has? Well, if you shrunk Francis down to a 35er, he would get destroyed by Petr. But does he still have the strength advantage that he has at heavyweight? Does he still have that one-punch knockout power? And it's like, well, no, because bantamweights don't have that power. Well, exactly. That's why you literally can't compare them. It doesn't work. You can't compare them. We're only looking at effectiveness. All right? We're only looking at effectiveness. Lowercase Joker, thank you for the $2. No. Yes. Pound for pound, he's faster than Francis. As if he's 265 pounds, he's still faster. How do you know that? You don't know that. All right, let's get started. Number 17, to me, the 17th best, most effective fighter that the UFC has ever seen. And again, all I ask of you guys is to let me explain the reasoning. I think the 17th best fighter of all time, I think, is Conor McGregor. I think Conor McGregor is the 17th best fighter we've ever seen. And I have a number of reasons for thinking Conor McGregor is the 17th best fighter ever. As you guys know, I have always maintained Conor McGregor at 145 pounds was elite. 145-pound Conor McGregor is, I think you could make a real argument that he might just be the best fucking 45er ever. I mean, I don't really think there's a good argument here. He's going to knock out Volkanovski. Volkanovski, the one thing about Volk, he's just too fucking chinny. And Conor had one-punch knockout power at 45 that was insane, mixed with the height and the range. His level of competition at 145 was very, very high. Look, it could be a little unfair. Because obviously Conor McGregor, most fighters don't have this luxury, but Conor McGregor, obviously there's a documentary literally filming every single day leading up to that 145-pound run. And against Chad Mendes, his knee was so fucked up. And obviously, to take that fight on short notice, to have not been working on wrestling, Chad Mendes, one of the best wrestlers fucking that 145-pound division's ever seen. I mean, fuck, dude. It's very impressive. The Jose Aldo fight, insanely impressive. I think he probably beats Ilia Topuria. I think he's, Ilia Topuria, look at what happened when he fought Max Holloway. That height and that range. He got tagged so much. Conor's distance management, which is the thing that Mighty Mouse praised him so much for, mixed in with the real one-punch knockout power he had at 45. I think the only guy that might beat him at 45 is a prime Max Holloway. Obviously, right, I don't think he was ever the same at 55, ever. Even though he did win the title there. I think that, people, God, it's crazy to me that, he moved up 2 fucking weight classes against Nate Diaz up to welterweight. And everybody, when he lost that fight at the time, people were so fucking harsh on that. Can you imagine moving up 2 fucking weight classes? I don't think people give him as much respect as he deserves. You know what I mean? And again, at 45, I truly think he might just be the best 45er. I don't know how many people at 45 beat him. And if we're looking at just straight up effectiveness, I think he's got to be there. All right, next. Number 16. John Wings, Nate was a 55er who literally couldn't make 55 that first fight. He could not make 55. He said, I can't make 55. And then Conor went, okay, let's do 165. And Nate went 170. I can't make 65 either. So, all right. Now, the number 16th best fighter of all time, in my opinion. I think it's Francis Ngannou. I think Francis Ngannou is the 16th most effective, best fighter ever, and to me that is greatness. There's never been a fighter to have the attributes that Francis Ngannou has. I mean, fucking hell. The way, again, man, to take a 250-pound fucking Ciryl Gane to catch the teep, and he has the leg on his bicep, picks him, takes him in the air, and just fucking pile drives him. I mean, goddamn, there's nobody that has the attribute Francis Ngannou has. And on top of that, I mean, it's just the fact, like, that Renan Ferreira fight. He knocked out Renan Ferreira with 2 ground and pound shots, dude. 2. Go back and watch that fight with Renan Ferreira. He takes him down with a double leg. 1 ground and pound shot, 2 ground and pound shot, and Renan was out cold. Like, oh my God, that is literally insane. That is literally insane. He was already a motherfucker when he didn't know how to grapple. He can grapple to a very decently high level now. You know what I mean? And that is spooky. He has good takedown defense. His takedowns, that double leg he hit on Renan was very, very nice. Mixed in with just how physically strong he is. I mean, fucking, I don't think you can find, it's going to be very hard to find somebody more effective than Francis Ngannou. That's going to be insanely difficult. Colt Killer Gaming, thank you for the $2.09. Can you add Dricus Du Plessis? Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny. Him being here. I would agree that I do think he overall lost the Gane fight, but I just think that speaks to Gane's greatness in himself. But also, too, I guess that is important to mention. The thing about MMA is, guys, truthfully, is that it really, every single fight just comes down to matchups. That's it, and like stylistically how guys match up against each other. Ilia Topuria is on everybody's top 10. You know what I mean? However, it's so easy that, like, if he happened to fight Arman Tsarukyan for the vacant belt instead of Charles, we could have found out that just that specific matchup, Ilia just can't win for whatever reason. He just can't deal with the grappling in that matchup, which would make sense. And now all of a sudden he's just not the greatest because of that one match. Every single MMA fight comes down to matchups. Truly. You know what I mean? So it's hard to balance, but you know that's what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to balance. All right. Now, sometimes Conor was way better than Ngannou and also had crazy power. And Ngannou would look way worse if this wasn't the worst division ever. I think Israel Adesanya's reign over the 185-pound division was a wee bit worse, to be honest with you. That was a wee bit worse, to be honest with you. Conor was definitely a lot more skilled than Francis Ngannou all around, but skill is not effectiveness. All right. Now, number, what are we, 17, 16, 15. In my opinion, the 15th best fighter of all time. This shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. I've got Charles Oliveira as the 15th best fighter of all time. I think that, listen, Charles Oliveira, I mean, man, you know what I mean, man. What is there to say? What is there to say about Charles Oliveira? I think Charles Oliveira, I think that just straight up jiu-jitsu, he's the best ever. I think that the one real thing holding him back here is just striking defense, unfortunately. I wish that was a little bit better, but his wrestling has improved a tremendous amount. Man, he's girthy these days. Dude, that fucking, when he fucking grabbed Gamrot in that body lock and picked him up and fucking took him down and circled the other way to break the whizzer and take his back and choke him. When he fucking, dude, to hit a fucking omoplata. You guys understand how hard it is to hit an omoplata if you're not wearing a gi? Let alone in fucking MMA, dude. He swept Gamrot with an omoplata, bro. Like, I still am in awe that he was able to do that. He made Justin Gaethje's tongue go numb. He has a tremendous amount of power. His striking is good. His grappling, I think, even recently has leveled up a lot. The striking defense is the only thing that would sort of hold me back a little bit. You know what I mean? That's the only thing. That's the only thing. You know what I mean? If his striking defense was a little bit better, I'd say he could be a lot higher. But as we know, that's just an issue he's gonna have. But when in terms of effectiveness, I think he's got to be there. All right, next. I don't know why I keep looking at the list. I already have it in order. I agree, Aaron. I agree. Now, 17, 16, 15. The 14th best fighter the UFC's ever seen. I got Tom Aspinall. As the 14th best fighter the sport's ever seen. Listen. My only thing about Tom Aspinall is, again, there's a lot of unknowns there. There's a lot of unknowns still to this day. You know what I mean? There's a lot of unknowns. I do think skill for skill, he's going to blow Francis Ngannou out of the water. I think, though, if he just cleaned up his blitzes a little bit better. I already knew that Cyril Gane was going to be catching him with the jab as he entered. I already knew that. I already knew at range he was going to really struggle with Cyril. So nothing changes about that for me, right? I know to some people, there are a number of people out there that after the Cyril Gane fight, they go, oh, actually now doesn't even make the list anymore. I already knew that was going to happen. I already knew that. And I think you should have known that just watching the film. But if we're just looking at effectiveness, the heavyweight division, I really think the only people that could beat him at heavyweight, it really is Cyril or Francis, are the only two people I think could do it. But apart from that, I mean, Tom Aspinall's a way, way better boxer than Francis Ngannou. He has the power. He has the speed. Obviously, he's been doing jiu-jitsu since he was 8 years old. You'd assume his grappling is good. We've seen his grappling to be very good against someone like Volkov, who's a very high-level heavyweight today. I do probably think he's the best heavyweight we've ever seen. I don't think he's the best heavyweight we've ever seen. If the heavyweight division were more stacked, I think it would be easier to rank him higher. I still think it was better than Israel Adesanya's 185 kind of lineup that he had to go up against. I think the heavyweight division's honestly better than that was. It's close, but I do think it was better. But, in terms of effectiveness, I think you got to have him there. All right. Next. 17, 16, 15, 14. All right, the 13th best fighter that I've ever seen in my life. I think it's Max Holloway. I think you got to give it to him. I think you got to give it to Max Holloway. And I think Max Holloway being able to show that he is elite in two separate weight classes is the thing that is so impressive to me. That's the thing that is so impressive to me. Listen, obviously, right, I even think like Conor McGregor, for example, he did that himself as well. You know what I mean? To be elite at 45. I don't think he was ever as elite at 55, but he won the belt at 55. I mean, listen, guys, fucking Cowboy Cerrone took Leon Edwards to a decently close fucking 5-round fight. Couldn't last 40 seconds against Conor. I think that's important as well, but I think that what Max Holloway's been able to do, he is sort of the inverse Conor in a sense where, I think Max is better at 55. I agree, John Wings. That's why Conor's where he's at. I agree. I know we've spoken about that before. I completely agree. But to do what he did to Justin Gaethje and then fucking Dustin Poirier up at 55, I think he's better at 55 than he was at 45. He has this speed advantage over 55ers that they just can't get a read on his strikes, and therefore he fucking cracks them. You know what I mean? The power at 55 because of the speed advantage is insane. It's insane. And on top of that, man, we've never ever really seen him get great. You have to go back to when he fought Conor McGregor when he was 20 years old. Obviously Conor was 24. He was 20. That's the last time he got grapple fucked. His get-ups from the bottom are so good. Volk, Ilya could not hold him down. He almost fucking Darce choked Dustin Poirier the second time they fought after he was getting fucked up. I mean, man, dude, up at 55, and it's the way he can mix the punches and the kicks. It's the way he can mix the punches and the kicks together. I mean, god damn. Like, when Max starts going 1-1-2 straight right to the body, 1-1-2 straight right to the body, then he's going 1-1-2, dips his level high kick, or 1-1-2, dips his level spinning back kick. It's like, god damn, this guy can do it all, can he? Jesus, he can do it all. Holy fuck. Listen. Again, though, MMA, it's all about matchups. It's all about matchups. There are some people on this list that if they had happened to get a less favorable matchup, like, for example, unfortunately, Conor McGregor, if for whatever reason, instead of fighting Eddie Alvarez for the belt, he fought Dustin Poirier for the belt up at 55, he's not winning that. He's going to lose. He's losing against Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier up at 55 is a really difficult matchup. At 45, he knocks him out because his power is insane. That would completely. He's not even here anymore. Conor's not even nearly a legend anymore, just because purely of the matchup that he happened to get. So I'm not here to say that he's gonna beat fucking Charles because I ranked him higher, because it's all about matchups, and we'll see about that later. But I have him there for that exact reason. Now we got 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. All right, number 12. To me, the 12th best fighter ever. Now, this guy right here, some people, again, as we've learned recently, one thing that MMA fans complain about boxing is that they're like, well, in boxing, if somebody loses, then like they're immediately like nobody cares anymore. But that's the great thing about MMA, is that somebody can lose and his legacy is not completely tarnished. Well, we actually learned that's not true recently because of JDM during our awards show. Everybody now thinks that JDM is actually awful and that he's actually probably one of the most overhyped fighters ever because of that one performance. And I think people might kind of think the same about this guy. But I'm here to explain to all you guys why that's not true, because I think that the 12th best fighter that we've ever seen is Dricus du Plessis. I think it's Dricus du Plessis. I think, listen, again, right? Fighting MMA just comes down to matchups. And unfortunately, the one thing Dricus is weak in, he doesn't have super high-level defensive grappling fundamentals. He gets away with a tremendous amount of strength and athleticism. If he's going to fight somebody who truly, like Khamzat Chimaev's pure freestyle wrestling ability mixed with his jiu-jitsu is arguably the absolute best in the UFC, that is a stylistical matchup that he just couldn't overcome because of that one attribute that he has compared to that one skill set that Khamzat has. But dude, Dricus du Plessis, his striking, honestly very good. You know what I mean? To outpoint Sean Strickland over 5 rounds. 50-45 him. He can throw high kicks, spinning back kicks. He's insanely fast, insanely powerful. He is a very good offensive grappler. When he took Israel Adesanya down and slid to his back and fucking slapped that choke on, I mean, dude, he's a very, very good offensive grappler mixed with how high level his striking is. Again, unfortunately, he has one sort of issue in defensive grappling fundamentals, and he happened to fight the one guy who has the best offensive grappling fundamentals in the sport. So, there you go. But, in my mind, he is still absolutely one of the most effective fighters that the sport has ever seen. You know what I mean? If you were to ask me right now, who's the best middleweight of all time, it's just difficult to say. It's difficult to say, but he always beats Israel Adesanya. Always beats Israel Adesanya. Always beats Robert Whittaker. Always beats Anderson Silva. You know what I mean? Truthfully, there's no argument there. All right, next. We're now moving on to the 11 through 6. The 11th best fighter ever. Now, this guy right here, his very last fight really rose him up the rankings for me. His last fight really, really rose him up the rankings. I got Arman Tsarukyan. I've got Arman Tsarukyan as the 11th best fighter I've ever seen. I think the one thing about Arman that I really never liked, I just feel like for how like amazing and dexterous his kicks are, he would just never set it up that well. His striking defense was really atrocious. He's just such an insane athlete, really high level wrestler, really good ground and pound. But since I would have said all that, his jiu-jitsu has risen to a really, really high level. Really high level. His jiu-jitsu, I think, is actually really good. The Dan Hooker fight, man, the way he was mixing the punches and the kicks and the combinations together, I was like, oh man, this is now a problem. This is now a problem. Because his kicks have always been insane. But when he's going at Dan Hooker, he's going 2-1 and then boom, high kick off the back leg. He's going jab inside leg kick. He's going jab overhand fucking body kick. I'm like, damn, he's mixing it up really, really well. To on top of that, arguably be, I mean, maybe it's not even arguable anymore. He probably is the best freestyle wrestler in the entire division. Listen, I don't know. If him and Gamrot had just a straight-up wrestling match, maybe Gamrot wins. But in MMA, in an MMA context right now, I think you give him the edge over Gamrot in just straight-up wrestling. But he's got a lot more skills than Gamrot. He's bigger and stronger. The ground and pound is disgusting. Like, you guys know how hard it is to land clean ground and pound on Charles? You guys know how hard it is to land clean ground and pound on Charles? Dude, he fucking busted Charles up bad round 2. Really bad with elbows. Like, he is such a complete package. He is such a complete package these days. And that is why I think he's the 11th best fighter that the UFC has ever seen. All right. Now, the 10th best fighter the UFC's ever seen. Yes, the 10th best fighter the UFC's ever seen. This guy is one that I believe that, there are so many aspects of this guy's game that is really, really high level. Unfortunately, though, for this guy, and I think maybe me saying this is going to reveal who this is. Sorry, Squidward. Why top 11? Thank you for the $2. Why top 17? Okay, listen. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This might speak to this. Honestly, my reasoning for why I went with 17 people might speak to why this list might not. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I put this together. I woke up this morning at like 9 a.m. and I thought about it for a good 30 minutes what my list was going to be. And I made the list. And I liked the list a lot. Though, as I was making the thumbnail, I had 15 people, and as I was making the thumbnail, I was like, fuck, how did I forget that guy? I was like, fuck, I forgot this guy. I was like, who am I going to take off? And I didn't want to take anybody off. So I went, okay, we're doing 16. And then, so I have 16, and then as I'm putting all the fighters down here for this tier list, I realized I forgot another guy that had to be on here. I was like, fuck, okay, we're doing 17. So now we have 17 people. Still, though, I still think, though, that, like, you could probably always argue maybe this guy should be up 1 or down 1. Maybe this guy could be a couple forward or a couple backwards, maybe. But I don't think you can argue. I don't think you can argue a lot of these. You know what I mean? But that's the reason for that. Thank you for the donation. Anyway, this guy, I think when you look at his game and all of his skills, I do think that he truly is insanely good. However, his resume has really aged like milk. His level of competition is not great. And again, accolades are important, but I only care about your accolades if your level of competition dictates whether or not that accolade is impressive. And that is why the 10th best fighter of all time is Jon Jones. That's why the 10th best fighter of all time is Jon Jones. I think that Jon Jones, again, I think that he's probably, like, offensively, from kicking range, he's one of the best ever. He's one of the best ever. He's absolutely one of the best ever from kicking range. The way, like, he's at range with you and he's ripping teeps and kicks to the body and stepping in with elbows. And every time you enter into range, he's ducking underneath and making you run into takedowns and getting in the clinch and kneeing and elbowing. Listen, he's very good from there. But, like, you just look at the people he beat, like, none of it's that impressive. Daniel Cormier is the most overrated fighter the sport's ever seen. He is, and I've talked about that so much in depth. He's the most overrated guy ever. Alexander Gustafsson's good, but like compare Alexander Gustafsson's skill set to Magomed Ankalaev. I think Gus might have better movement. I think he's a bit taller. Magomed Ankalaev's a way cleaner boxer, way faster, way more accurate. Like, listen, dude, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. It's not that impressive. Mixed in with how horrible his boxing defense is, how atrocious his boxing defense is. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, dude, I can't rank him any higher for all of those reasons. Again, I think offensively, like, he's got good submissions, good wrestling. Again, his offensive striking is good, but there's a lot of things holding him back. Aaron, thank you for the $2. Like this if you think Max should take Armin's spot. I mean, okay, do you guys think that Max Holloway is gonna beat Dan Hooker as bad as Armin did? Be honest. Donlo says no. Yeah. Yes. Fuck yeah. Max is just gonna fucking wash Dan Hooker. Worse. No, but matchups matter for sure. For sure. I don't know. I mean, I wish that, like, I only wish that I feel like after Max fights Charles, we're gonna have a way better gauge of his 55 skill set. But I think that it's all right, fine. All right, fine. Fine. We can do that if you want. I thought about it. All right, we can do that. Again, I think you can always argue up or down here and there. You know, I think that's fair. I think that's honestly fair. I don't mind that. Anyway. Okay. Anyway. Do I have this in the right order? I think I do. Yeah, this is the right order. Okay. So that's 11-10. The 9th best fighter that I've ever seen in my life. You guys. I got Khamzat Chimaev as the 9th best fighter I've ever seen in my life. I've got Hammy Chimaev. The reason why I have Hammy Chimaev here is because, listen, man, I think when you're looking at offensive grappling, I literally do not believe you can find somebody better. If you're looking at offensive grappling, you can't find anybody better. You can't find literally anybody better. With that being said, though, you know, his striking defense is awful. It's awful. It's really bad. Like, listen, I hate to say this. I hate to be mean to Gilbert Burns here. But, like, Gilbert Burns is, you know, Khamzat was like 4 inches taller, way bigger, way longer. How are you running into all these goddamn overhands, bro? Like, come on, dude. He was mauling poor Dricus because, again, Dricus has one stat that happens to unfortunately be going up against, you know, the best person against that stat. Yet the second they ended up on the feet in round 5, I'm telling you, the second they ended up on the feet, Dricus immediately 1-1, boom, cracks him with a right hand, like, immediately. And I'm like, God damn, Khamzat. Like, you're so high level in one area, and you're so not that good in another area. And I think it just comes down to the fact that Khamzat's the kind of guy that, like, I guarantee you in training, he's just ragdolling everybody, and he's never needed to develop really high-level striking defense. So that is sort of, you know, that's sort of the one thing that kind of holds me back from ranking him up higher, you know? And again, man, like, it's difficult. Like, if you have somebody who can play a good half guard knee shield game like Gilbert Burns, all of a sudden Khamzat doesn't want to grapple with you. You know what I mean? And again, Dricus is not the guy to do that. But I mean, I think that's a little telling. But I still think that his offensive grappling is to such a high level that, like, fuck. And by the way, you know, I've already made the change, but a big reason why I had Armin where he is, like, dude, Armin fucking, that wrestling, the fact that Arman survived that jiu-jitsu match against Hamzat was crazy. But, whatever. Max is better, I guess. John 48, I think you were the 27 sec. 27 sec. I didn't know you were foreign, John 488. Arman above Jens Pulver. Kind of crazy take, honestly. God, I hate these fucking hardcores. I hate these fucking hardcores, bro. I hate these fucking hardcores. God. All right, now. 11, 10, 9. The 8th best fighter. The 8th best, most effective fighter that I've ever seen in my life. I got Alex Pereira there. I've got Alex Pereira. And the reason why I have Alex Pereira there is for, a very simple reason. At this point, I think people with this opinion are going to be in the deep minority. But, look, for a very, very long time, man, you brought up Alex Pereira in terms of being elite, and people would go, actually, Shay, you're aware that Alex Pereira doesn't know what grappling is, right? He's never actually heard of it. You know that, right? If you asked him what is grappling, he would just look at you like he'd look at you like a Mexican who has no idea what you just said in English. You know that if you literally have ever grappled before, he literally won't know what to do. You know that, right? Well, thankfully, right? He fought a fucking Combat Sambo world champion and defended all 11 takedowns. He is so freakishly physically strong. I remember going into the first Israel Adesanya fight. Adesanya said, he's like, listen, I've had 25 professional MMA fights. This guy's had 7 professional MMA fights. I'm going to take him down. And Izzy tried. Izzy got into the clinch, and he got double unders, and he tried to pull Alex down, and he could not move Pereira. Pereira was fucking stuck in the ground like a stone statue. Then Pereira starts landing knees and uppercuts, and then Pereira fucking picks up a single leg, runs him back, cuts the angle to take him down, and dumbass Daniel Cormier goes, "That's a weird takedown, Joe," because he was just so insecure that Pereira actually hit a single leg. But I mean, man, god damn, I also think the thing that I like about Pereira too, the get-ups from the bottom. His get-ups from the bottom position are so good. I think that the thing that he has sort of this is very, very basic, but he's kind of mastered it in this sense. When it comes to pinning guys in MMA, if you are pinning somebody, you're not accomplishing effective grappling. If you posture up to land ground and pound, you are no longer pinning. And that is what he does so well. Go back to the Yuri fight when Yuri took Pereira down all those years ago. He's on top. As soon as Yuri tries to posture to land anything, Alex immediately back up to the fence, whizzer, stand back up beautifully. And it's very basic, but it goes such a long way. And you look at how deep that Ankalaev was getting on takedowns against him in their first fight. He was getting his hands locked on double legs. And Pereira just get his hips back, put the lock over the hips, underhook whizzer. I'm like, damn, this is really good takedown defense. On top of, arguably being the best kickboxer the sport's ever seen. Real one-punch knockout power, amazing timing. He's very, very, very well-rounded. He's very, very well-rounded. And that is why he goes where I believe he goes. Squidward, thank you for the $5. People forget, man, Onk went 0-13 on takedowns on Poatan, and Alex got the only takedown. Alex fucking foot swept his ass. Literally sent him airborne. And by the way, because I know some people were saying this after the fact, they're just wrong. Go back and rewatch the fight. The bell hadn't rung yet, and Ankalaev was in air. People tried to say he only foot swept him because it was after the fight. It was after the round ended. No, he was in air before the bell rung. And there was another moment in that fight where he foot swept him, and then Onk went to a knee, and then Pereira went to throw the uppercut, and he just missed. Fucking just missed the uppercut. But that would have been bad. But listen, point is, Alex is a very good grappler, and the kickboxing skill is through the fucking roof. Colt Killer Gaming, thank you for the $2.80. Can you add Daniel Cormier? Maybe. I cannot confirm nor deny that he should be on here. Judges did not count that shit. Well, they shouldn't, because takedowns that don't lead to damage or submission attempts don't count. It's just more so just speaking to what he's capable of skill-wise. But yeah, like a takedown that the judging criteria says a takedown only counts as effective grappling if it leads to an attack. So there you go. All right, now was 11, 10, 9, 8. The 7th best fighter that I've ever seen in my life. The 7th best fighter I've ever seen in my life. Dark Nebula with the 14 star. Do you believe in lighter man skill like Lucas? Lighter man skill has always been a thing, man. Yes, that's just like a fact. It's just a fact. I think you might be trolling me because I've talked about this so much, but I remember, and I'm in more of like a joking kind of a way. I'm saying this because I don't want anyone to take it the wrong way. But when Lucas first coined lighter man skill, and then everyone's coming into my chat being like, "Shay, do you believe in lighter man skill?" I'm like, I thought we all believed in it. Like, dude, if I knew that was gonna be such a revolutionary take, I would have been talking about that. I just thought we all knew about that. But Anyway, yes, to answer your question, I believe the 7th best fighter that I've ever seen in my life is Alexandre Pantoja. You guys, I think he's the best. I think he's the best. I think he's the best. I think he's absolutely the 7th best fighter I've ever seen in my life. I think that it's such a shame what happened to him against Joshua Van. But I think, look, it's difficult, right? I think Charles Oliveira uses a lot more classical jiu-jitsu, which is very impressive. But Pantoja, to me, might be the best representative of jiu-jitsu in the sport. The back take ability, world class. The girthiness, the durability. Honestly, his striking is actually very good. Honestly, when I was doing this is on my members only videos. By the way, nobody on YouTube makes better members only content than I do. But when we were going back and doing full reactions to his fights leading into the Joshua Van fight, there were so many moments where I was looking at combinations he was setting up, and I was like, God damn. I'm really, really surprised by how he's setting up these combinations. I don't remember any specific ones off the top of my head. I'd have to go back and rewatch the video. But he would do things like he would blitz in with a certain kind of a blitz, and he would, you know what it was? It was how he would constantly mix it up. He'd blitz at you in one sequence and just go like a 1, 2, 3 overhand all upstairs. Then he'd blitz at you again a minute later and literally throw 3 body shots. And then he would blitz again, he'd go 1, 2 takedown. And then he'd blitz again, he'd go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then as you're backing up, he's slamming a leg kick on you. And I was like, damn. Mixed in with how high level of a grappler he is. The back take ability, the scrambling ability. God, and he's so powerful and durable. Guys, he destroys Mighty Mouse. And I hate to say it, because I do think Mighty Mouse, when it comes to skill, is one of the best ever. But, the one problem that Mighty Mouse had, the one problem was that if he got reversed, if he got taken down, he'd get smashed. Because he was just a little too small. He went for an armbar on Tim Elliott, and Tim Elliott reversed him, and Tim Elliott smashed him. He really struggled on the bottom against Tim Elliott. Then the round ended, then they stood back up, and then he was all right. But, dude, Mighty Mouse is going to smudge him. Or Pantoja is going to smudge Mighty Mouse. In terms of effectiveness, dude, I don't think you can really compare the two. Thank you for the €2. Jake going to do better than Francis against AJ? Probably. I think he probably will. I don't think Jake will be as stationary as Francis was. The thing about that fight is, though, I think that, there are two things for Jake with that fight. Jake knows that he's on enough steroids and his punching mechanics are good enough that if he does happen to land a shot on AJ, it is possible Jake could hurt him. Extremely unlikely, but, theoretically it's possible. But even if Jake gets knocked out round 1, everybody, it's just he doesn't lose anything. I think if he gets knocked out round 1, everyone's just going to be like, man, hey, props to Jake for getting in there, though. You know what I mean? He literally loses nothing in that fight. That's kind of why I think he wants to take it. He literally loses nothing. He literally loses absolutely nothing. Nick Owen, thank you for the $5. Where is Eric where's Air KO Yun in your all-time list? I don't know. I don't know who that is. All right, next. Now, so we got 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. The sixth best fighter I've ever seen in my life. I got Alexander Volkanovski. I've got Alexander Volkanovski. Oh, shit, I do. The sixth best fighters in my life, I got Alexander Volkanovski. I think that Volkanovski, I mean, dude, there's so many things that he does to such an elite level. You guys already know that. I don't think you guys need me to sit there and tell you all the elite things that he can do when it comes to striking skill, when it comes to cardio, strength, wrestling ability. The one thing I have, though, with him that's kind of a problem, his striking defense, man. His striking defense is why I think Conor at 45 knocks him out. His striking defense is why Lopez, who, by the way, we just did a members-only video reacting to his last fight against Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez, I didn't even realize it till we were watching it, how atrocious Diego Lopez's punching mechanics are. Members in the chat, you guys watched that video. Lopez's punching mechanics are literal dog shit. It's so bad how he throws punches. He did rock Volk. He put him down bad. That's the one thing. He got dropped by Chad Mendes. He got fucking, you know what I mean? That's just a huge glaring hole in his game that I feel like the people above him kind of don't have the same way. Maybe one person above him. You might be able to argue, but I think most people above him just don't have that glaring issue. However, again, man, there's just so many things that he does to such an elite level. Again, if he's fighting Max Holloway, unfortunately, Max at 45 doesn't have the power, so that's like a really good matchup for him, which is why, MMA really does just come down to matchups. But that striking defense, man, But apart from that, he is so complete. He's so complete. He really, really is. All right. Number five. The fifth best fighter that I've ever seen in my life. Number 5. Who do you guys think that it is? Michael Morales. A few of you guys are getting it right. Soy Sauce, thank you for joining the fan club, dude. If you want to join the members only Discord, let us know. But if not, you now have access to literally the best members only content on the entire YouTube platform. Coming up, by the way, Soy Sauce, we are going to react to every single Max Holloway fight that he's ever had. And we're going to fucking find out how Charles beats him. We're going to find out. That's on the horizons. Probably every video will be like me reacting to like 3 fights until we get to the very, very end. That's coming, by the way. The 5th best fighter I've ever seen, Ilia Topuria. The 5th best fighter I've ever seen, Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, I mean, listen, man. His game, it's what is so amazing is how linear his game is, yet how fucking effective it is. It's so linear, yet it's so effective. This dude has literally never thrown a kick above the legs in MMA. Yet he's so effective. And the reason why he's so effective is because, again, right, like he fights in a boxing stance, which theoretically should leave him very open for calf kicks, should leave him very open for pretty much any kind of a kick, really. But he pressures the shit out of everybody. And because he pressures guys and puts them on the back foot, using kicks effectively is really, really difficult. And how do you stop that? Well, you got to try to pressure and push him backwards. Good fucking luck with that. His timing, his accuracy, his power is ferocious. And it's the accuracy to me It's like, you know what I mean? You look at someone like Tom Aspinall, who sometimes leaves his chin up in the air. It's like, well, yeah, he does do that, but the problem is he's so fast and quick. It's like, good luck, like, getting your entire body behind a punch. Like, Sergei Pavlovich landed that one shot on Tom's chin, but Tom is so fast that Sergei ended up just landing a little arm punch. But, dude, you look at when he knocked out Charles. The fact that he was able to parry and get his entire body, he completely turned the shoulder over on a dime's notice right on the tip of the chin. It's like, that ability is so hard. That ability is so hard. Again, Charles should have never fucking thrown that right hand to begin with. But he did. And then Ilya got to show why his boxing is such a fucking problem. And on top of that, right, like, his grappling is very good. Jack JV1235, you probably already heard my spiel, so I'm not going to repeat it, but thank you for joining the fan club. You want to join the members-only Discord, let us know. His grappling's very, very good. I'm still, listen, up at 55, there is still a slight asterisk on how he looks up at 55. There's a slight asterisk. You know what I mean? People are kind of making a lot of jokes that he's going to completely mimic Conor McGregor's entire career. Well, Conor McGregor, was elite at 45, moved up to 55, got a very favorable matchup, destroyed Eddie Alvarez, and then we kind of learned that he's not the same at 55 as he was at 45. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Arman Tsarukyan's a little scary to me. But listen, we'll see. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But as we stand right now, skill for skill. Even if we did find out that up at 55, he's not the same. I mean, how elite he was at 45 is enough for me to rank him that high. You know what I mean? That's enough for me. That's enough for me. Next. The number 3, the third best fight. 4. Number 4, the fourth best fighter that I've ever seen in my life. The fourth best fighter I've ever seen in my life. We got Ian Gary, you guys. No, I'm kidding. It's Petr Yan. I think Petr Yan. Listen, right. We've talked about this before. I think stylistically, a 145-pound version of Petr Yan, who, is an inch taller, 10 pounds heavier. I don't think he beats Ilya, just stylistically. I don't think Yan's high guard is going to work. His high guard defense is going to work well against somebody that happens to be able to crack like Ilya. That's just one matchup that I don't think is great for him. But apart from that, you can't really deny, man, Petr Yan's bag. I mean, I think that there's only one guy that has a deeper bag than Petr Yan. I think there's only one guy that has a deeper bag than him. And that person may or may not be coming up here soon. But, I mean, dude, Petr Yan, the wrestling, the boxing, the spinning wheel kicks, his submission ability is not quite there. That's the one thing, maybe. But apart from that, man, Jesus Christ, does he have a deep fucking bag. Holy shit, does he have a deep fucking bag. I mean, man, what else is there to say? We saw how he used that bag against Merab so beautifully. You know what I mean? Here's the only thing that holds him back, though, compared to the next guy on this list. There's only one guy. There's only one guy that I think it's the reason why he kind of holds him back a little bit. And the next guy, it's Merab Dvalishvili. And the one thing about it, the reason why I had to rank Petr below in terms of all-time effectiveness is just that, again, right, like, stylistically, Petr showed that his bag is deep enough. He has the skill set to beat Merab. He absolutely does. Petr Yan lost to Sean O'Malley, you guys. Petr Yan lost to Sean O'Malley. And he lost to Sean O'Malley because Sean O'Malley, again, is one of the few guys that can actually strike with him tit for tat. Whereas you look at somebody like Merab, Sean just can't really hang with Merab. Merab's speed, the improvements in his striking, the massive strength advantage he has over him. You know, Merab is going to beat Sean O'Malley. Merab is going to beat Sean O'Malley all day long, whereas Petr Yan, I think that's always a difficult fight for him. Now, I do think Petr went into that second Merab fight girthier than he did the last time, which that could really help him to smash Sean O'Malley, theoretically. But on top of that, you know, he also lost to Aljamain Sterling. And he lost to Aljamain Sterling because stylistically, right, Aljo got in on 2 takedowns that entire fight, which led to back control and mount control for both of those entire rounds. Whereas, I mean, you know, there are certain opponents that I think are a little difficult for Petr. You know? Whereas someone like Merab Dvalishvili, I mean, man, dude, he's one of those guys that, like, his accolades and his level of competition is fucking insane. Fucking insane, dude. Insane. You know what I mean? And again, not all of them are title defenses, but that's kind of the problem with trying to judge accolades as such a heavy thing because, like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking... Man, his record it blows me away even today, still looking at it. You know what I mean? That's not something you can really say with Petr Yan in the same way. 9bit927, thank you for the $10, buddy. I woke up sick this morning, but listening to Petr Yan Glaze put me in a good mood. Thanks, Shay. Well, listen, I'm just trying to call it how it is. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to call it how it is. I'll glaze you where glaze is needed, but then I'll also say where I think you're going to lose no matter who. You know what I mean? No matter who you are, you know. But I thank you for the $10. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now, number 2. Guys, this was hard. Differentiating number 1 and number 2 was really, 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 really difficult. It's really, really difficult for me. But I chose this guy as number 2. And there's only one thing at this point that, for me, holds him back from number 1. He's in the thumbnail of this video. He's in the thumbnail of this stream, you guys. He's in the thumbnail. He's in the thumbnail, and he has not been shown yet. Take a look. He's in the thumbnail. He's in the thumbnail, boys and girls. Listen. 2-division champion. Olympic gold medalist. The greatest combat sports athlete of all time. Some call him the king of cringe. Boys and girls, we got Georges St-Pierre at number 2. Now, earlier, by the way, all that build up to him, I'm sorry, I forgot. He never won a gold medal. He's actually not the king of cringe. I forgot. I don't know who I was thinking of there. Listen, guys, I referenced one person from UFC history that has a deeper bag than Petr Yan. It is him. It's GSP has a deeper bag than Petr Yan. He does. You know, GSP, man, comes from a karate background. Fucking never wrestled in his fucking life. Started wrestling at the age of 19. Took down every single fighter he ever fought. Just for one, right? Freak athlete. Worked with Freddie Roach for years. Comes back with that fucking jab that was so goddamn beautiful. That jab, so beautiful. Fucking knocks out Michael Bisping with a lead hook. Up at 185. Dude's ripping, spinning wheel kicks, spinning back kicks, really high-level submission ability. Spent years working with the Danaher Death Squad. Nobody has a deeper bag than Georges St-Pierre. Like, listen, a lot of people will sit there and say, like, oh, Volk is one of the most well-rounded fighters ever. He is well-rounded, but, like, there's not that many, like, multiple of skills that Volk can do. Volk is just kind of covered everywhere. You know, good striking, good wrestling, you know what I mean? But, like, GSP, the submission ability, the boxing ability, the fucking karate, taekwondo kind of kicks, the movement, the footwork. There's only one thing. There's one reason why I couldn't put him at number one, and it's just striking defense. It's striking defense, dude. He got rocked by Matt Serra, which, look, that fight, you know, as far as flukes go, as far as examples of the better fighter losing a fight, it was that one. It was that one, right? He destroyed Matt Serra so bad in the rematch, but he got caught by Matt Serra. He got caught by that high kick from fucking, what's his name? Michael Bisping rocked him. You know what I mean? One thing about GSP is obviously, like, GSP was 5'9.5", and he was walking around outside of camp 185. Dude, that's every single 155er today. That is literally every single 155er. Dude, Jalen Turner is way bigger than he is. He'd be a 55er today. The first real welterweight that he fought was Johnny Hendricks. Johnny Hendricks was like 210 pounds outside of camp. And we saw how strong he looked in that fight. He'd be a 55er today. So the fact that he won a belt at 185 is pretty fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, I understand people try to say, fucking, what's his name was the, Michael Bisping was the weakest champ at 185. He's a 55er. He is a 55er, bro, in today's standards, and he won a belt at 185. You know what I mean? But, listen. There is one guy that I don't think is necessarily has the bag that GSP does. But, man, oh man, bro. When you take a look at what Ian Gary has accomplished today, I don't think there's really an argument. It's got to be Islam Makhachev up at number one. It's got to be Islam Makhachev up at number one. And it's just, Islam Makhachev, it's the strike. Dude, the dude never fucking gets hit, bro. He never gets hit. He keeps fighting all of these guys who are considered so dangerous on the feet, and he doesn't get hit by them, bro. Fucking Charles Oliveira didn't land a single punch against him. Volkanovski maybe landed like 5% of his strikes against him. Didn't get touched by Jack Della Maddalena. Fucking, I mean, like, yeah. He's got every single basis of MMA covered, and he's just so risk-averse. His submissions are world-class. His wrestling is very good. His jiu-jitsu is insanely high level. The boxing, the leg kicks, the movement, even the high kicks that he was using against Jack Della Maddalena, I'm like, God damn, man, he's got it all. He's so hard. He's so hard to deal with. He's so hard to deal with. He's so difficult to deal with. Jabraxon, thank you for the 2 pounds. Islam Glazefest saves this video. I'm just being honest, man. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm just trying to be honest. I mean, yeah, Aaron, but like all from the last 25 seconds. All from the last 25 seconds when he was on the ground and he gassed out. Which, again, right, that's honestly, and that's another thing, by the way, thank you for bringing that up, Aaron. Islam Makhachev fought Volkanovski in the very first fight with the worst possible game plan he could have, and he still won arguably 4 rounds of that fight. And he fought him with the worst game plan you could have. Him and Team Habib got together and went, okay. Volkanovski, so freakishly strong, unbreakable cardio, can push so insanely hard at you, elite get-ups, elite submission defense. What should we do? Let's try to grapple fuck this guy all 5 rounds. That was Islam's approach to the first Volk fight, and he still won 4 rounds out of that fight. Like, that's the worst game plan you could have against Volk. That's why in the rematch, he didn't even try. He just set up the high kick and knocked him out early round 1. Listen, Marab's biggest, I can't say the rest of your name, thank you for the 20 Noke. Listen, you're not a member, but I would employ you in the lead up to the JDM fight. We reacted to all 5 rounds of Islam versus Dustin. We watched all 5 rounds of it. I mean, we went through every single sequence. I paused a shit ton and we analyzed all the exchanges. I think it was 50-45 Islam. The one round that everybody says that Dustin won, he was getting outboxed, he got taken down and controlled with the body triangle, and he happened to kind of land that grazing elbow towards the end, which wasn't like a thudding elbow, it just kind of sliced upwards and caused a cut, and then sort of everybody now sort of subconsciously remembers that fight like it was some war. It wasn't really a war. I think it was 50-45. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you can give Dustin that one round. I don't think you can, but if you want to, fine. I thought it was 50-45. And listen, though, I think if Islam fought JDM like he fought Dustin, he would have lost. I think he would have lost. But, he didn't, obviously. He changed his game plan around and fought so beautifully against JDM. I mean, man, Dustin up 3-2. Or, saying 5-0, he finished him round 5, but he was dominating round 4. The only thing Dustin did round 4 was he was getting dominated, outboxed the whole time, and then he ends up, landing, Islam has him in the tie clinch, and Dustin starts, throwing those, winging body shots in the tie clinch, and then goes like this and nicks him, which caused him to bleed. Those are literally the only 2 things he did. Those are the only 2 things he did that round. But because of the cut, I feel like everybody, again, they sort of subconsciously remember that fight like it was some back and forth bloody war. And I don't know if it really was. Meme Big 8, thank you for the $10. Counterpoint, both GSP and Islam beat everyone ever at lightweight and old school welterweights, but GSP would beat Islam due to the stylistic nightmare GSP poses with the jab and reactive takedowns. Honestly, GSP might beat Islam, but just because, again, right, I've been repeating this entire tier list, MMA is essentially all matchups. It's all just what matchups are you getting. Again, I think that there's a reality where, for whatever happens, maybe Arman never missed weight against Islam, whatever. Ilya could have fought Arman for the vacant belt and he could have lost. And just because of that matchup, now nobody has him in their fucking top 10. Just because of how matchups work in MMA. The only thing is, GSP's reactive takedown, I think, works really, really well against somebody like Khabib, who Khabib obviously needs to blitz at you with fast combinations to back you up to the fence. That is, GSP is going to be fucking licking his lips at somebody who's going to do that to him. You're going to blitz at me with fucking fast combination. I'm just going to duck right underneath and make you run into the takedown. Islam doesn't really do that. Islam stays away and uses footwork and distance management, and he likes to box and throw high kicks. The thing is, prior to the JDM fight, he didn't really throw high kicks. The only time he did that was against fucking what's his name? Fucking Volk. You know what I mean? So maybe. I don't know. That's an interesting fight. Volk versus Islam versus GSP is a very interesting fight, for sure. But yeah, that's that. Let me get this whole list visible. Oops. There we go. I'm sure there are some questions that you guys gotta have. Meme beginning with the $5. Also, where the fuck is Nunes, Harrison, Cyborg, Shevchenko? Sexist Shea confirmed yet again. You know what, man? Yeah, they could have been here. They actually probably. Yeah, no, they could have been. Kayla Harrison could probably be there too. Kayla Harrison could be there too easily. Like legitimately, yeah, they could be there. I didn't really think about it. I'm sorry, but I actually do completely agree they could have been there. Completely. Jim, thank you for the $2. Umar should be just below Armin. I'm not a fan of Umar's striking defense, man. I'm not a fan of Umar's striking defense, bro. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I think he's still just a little too unproven for my liking. I think he's definitely proven that he is very capable of being elite. It's just the striking defense is a little, and I feel like he needs a few more wins. He's still so early in his career. Don't worry. There will be a 2026 edition of this. There will be a 2026 edition. Don't you worry. And if Umar by that point has sort of proven himself more, I think he could be there. I'm sure you guys got to have some other questions. I'm sure. Why is Nunes last place? She looks more effective in division than most people here. Dude, come on, man. I'm sorry, but that bantamweight listen, by the way, I've said this before and I will say this again. I am so excited for Kayla Harrison versus Nunes. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for that fight. That's an amazing fight. However, the women's division's always been so shallow, bro. The best win she has is Valentina Shevchenko. That bantamweight women's division was so shallow, dude. Probably even worse than Izzy's 185 division that he ruled over. I think you could argue that Valentina beat Nunes the second time they fought. I will not add. Daniel Cormier, again, the most overrated fighter the sport's ever seen. The most overrated fighter the sport's ever seen. The only person that's close to as overrated as DC was Khabib. I think they're both very overrated, but Daniel's more overrated. Do not hate AKA Lagler. Islam is my best fighter of all time. Oh, Tyron McGregor, thank you for the $5. If Francis was allowed to use a motorbike, would he be number one? Dude, he's deadly with that fucking motorbike, bro. He's deadly. He's fucking deadly. No, he wouldn't be number one. He'd be number four. But was it actually him riding the motorbike, though? I thought it was somebody else riding the motorbike that murdered that poor woman. I can't say your name, but thank you for the $5. I love you, dude. GSP is overrated. He had a very close split decision wins over very one-dimensional fighters. Matt Serra wouldn't even be top 15 nowadays. Now I'm curious because you say he had very close split decision wins plural over very one-dimensional fighters, but you bring up Matt Serra. He didn't have a split decision against Matt Serra. He destroyed. I mean, he got knocked out in the first fight because his striking defense, I do think, was the one sort of issue that he had. But then he dominated him brutally. So I mean, he definitely didn't have a split decision over him. Dominated him really, really bad. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. He's George St. Pierre record. Let's see. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see. KO, sub, KO, KO, sub, unanimous decision, KO, sub, unanimous decision, sub, KO. He had a split decision against BJ Penn. I don't know if BJ Penn is who you're referring to as a very one-dimensional fighter, but he did have one split decision against BJ Penn way back in the day. Then KO. And then this is the Matt Serra fight. Unanimous decision. Subbed Matt Hughes. Knocked out Matt Serra. Unanimous decision. KO. UD. A split decision over Johnny Hendricks and a sub Michael Bisping. So you're referring to Johnny Hendricks and BJ Penn, probably the two best people that he fought, arguably, were as the very one-dimensional. Sorry, I don't buy that. I do not buy that. Cruton, thank you for 3 months of being a member. Where's DJ? I mean, listen, man, I think that if my criteria, Cruton, was just straight up accolades, or even like just straight up skill, we would have definitely been here. But like, you know, who's legitimately his best win? Probably Hayagoshi, but Hayagoshi was 24 years old. He was very, very young, dude. I'm sorry, but like his accolades mean nothing to me with, you know, the level of competition that he faced. I think that he was a little too small to make 125. I think, you know, I just don't think he holds a candle to someone like Pantoja that deserves to be here. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's close. You might be able to argue that he should be kind of up, maybe down here, but I just have a tough. I think he was too small for 125. I think his level of competition was very, very poor. DJ's best win is Rotang. You know, I think on a skill for skill level, he's definitely one of the best, but we're doing effectiveness. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, Kyoji, really, really poor ground game when he fought DJ the first. I mean, he was just so young and so green, you know what I mean? And that's his literal best win ever. I'm like, man, I don't know about that, bro. Like, Conor McGregor, who's the lowest guy here, you know, knocked out, like, some legitimately really high-level guys. He knocked out some, like, really bad matchups. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Fuck. I ended up missing training for this, you guys. I was supposed to train at 11. It's 11:13. This went longer than I thought. Fuck. But, you know, whatever. Oh, Ogre Online. Thank you for the $5, dude. I really appreciate it. Talk about Poeton White House card thing. Well, I think the problem with that is that, well, I mean, listen, I think there's two issues potentially with that. Again, we don't have any information about why or why not. We can only speculate. I think there's two big reasons. One, Dana White is not going to reward John Jones with a fight at the White House. He's not going to do that. Two, I think that Tom's going to be out for a little while. And I think that he wants I think he wants a Cyril Gane versus Alex Pereira interim title fight, and I think he doesn't want to wait all the way until May, right? It's May is going to be the wild card. I don't think he wants to wait all the way until May to make that happen. I mean, I don't know. Those are going to be my two best guesses, Ogre Online. I don't know. What do you think? Those would probably be my two best guesses for why that fight's not going to happen. The only fight for Pereira on the White House would be against Jon Jones. June, exactly. Even June. Later than that, June. That's 7 months down the line. I don't know if he wants to wait that long because I think they're going to want to get the heavyweight division kind of moving a little bit. It'd be my best guess. Those are probably my two best guesses. Marab's biggest fan. Thank you for joining the fan club, dude. I really, really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Again, literally the best members-only content in the game. Any one of my members will tell you that. There's over 600 of us now, 600 members on the channel. It's been huge. So much phenomenal content on the horizons. And if you want to join the members-only Discord, let us know. I would agree with that, Capybara 67 MMA. Mighty Mouse, if he got on Tren, could definitely be up there. It's so funny. I'm seeing a lot of people bringing up Khabib, and it's so funny. Have you guys ever watched Khabib fight before? Jabraxon, thank you for the 2 pounds. Think Khabib is overrated, but how was he not effective? Well, this list isn't. This list is definitely not, if you aren't on here, you're not effective. That's definitely not what we're doing. He definitely could be effective. I think he is effective overall. But, have you ever watched him fight? I mean, I'm asking you, Jabrax, have you watched him fight? Did you watch the Ally Aquinta fight? Did you watch the Ally Aquinta fight? You know how he literally couldn't take Ally Aquinta down out in the open? He literally couldn't do that. He took him down once out in the open early with a high single leg. Then he took him down a couple times against the fence. And rounds 3, 4, and 5 literally could not secure a takedown because Ally Aquinta didn't back up. What the fuck do you think Arman Tsarukyan's going to do to Khabib, dude? What do you think Arman Tsarukyan's going to do to him? Jesus Christ. Tell me nearly everyone else. So Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and Conor McGregor up at 55. I hope you're joking. I hope you're joking. Islam Makhachev eclipsed Khabib's record before he even won the belt, bro. There's absolutely no question there, dude. There's absolutely no question. It's just so funny to me. Read the criteria, bro. Your accolades only matter when level of competition dictates said accolade is impressive. I mean, Conor McGregor finished a really difficult matchup in Chad Mendes on short notice with a horrific injury. And you want me to rank Khabib higher, who only had really good matchups? What? And the one time he fought a really low-level fighter who just didn't back up, Khabib couldn't take him down rounds 3, 4, and 5? What? Khabib's gonna lose to Charles Oliveira. Dude, Dustin Poirier has literally the shittiest guillotine I've ever seen. I made a whole video breaking down why Dustin Poirier's guillotine mechanics are terrible. Dude, he had Khabib rolling around in that guillotine, dude. Khabib's having to go to his back and fucking slowly inch his way out of that guillotine. And you think he's going to beat Charles Oliveira? How? Explain to me how. He's going to double leg Charles. You think he's going to try to double leg him? What are you saying, dude? What? I understand it's hard for guys who don't who, I don't want to be mean, but it's people who don't it's you gotta look at the martial arts for what it is. You know what I mean? You gotta look at the martial arts for what it is. You can't just go, dude, I'm sorry, man, that Dustin Poirier fight, I can't believe what he did to Dustin Poirier. I'm yeah, Dustin Poirier was trying to scramble with him, really bad idea. Dustin Poirier cleaned that up against Islam. Dustin Poirier said that was a huge mistake that he made. Dustin Poirier going into the Khabib fight said, I have to keep the scramble going. It was the worst thing he ever could have done. So against Islam, he cleaned that up, which allowed him to survive, yet he still lost every round against Islam. But, like, you know, again, like, right, when Khabib and Islam game plan for Charles, what was the one big game plan? We cannot shoot singles or double legs. We can't do it. We can't shoot singles or double legs on Charles. The guillotine's too dangerous. We can't do it. Luckily, though, Islam has the skill set to be able to strike on the outside. But Khabib, he's not going to shoot a double leg on Charles. Is going to try to pressure him. He's going to try to pressure him. And, dude, you know what? I made a whole, I forgot about this. I made a whole PowerPoint for Kenneth back in the day. Hold on, let me pull that up real fast. I made a whole PowerPoint. We can watch that, I guess. It's a good time to watch this. Yeah, here it is. Let me get these out of the way. You guys want to watch this PowerPoint I made? Man, I don't think there's a good argument here. So, obviously, right, what's Khabib's number one biggest problem? His pure wrestling's really poor. Against the fence, his wrestling was elite, but out in the open, his wrestling was really poor. Here's him getting stuffed on a takedown by some nobody. This is what Al Iaquinta did rounds 3, 4, and 5. Khabib never could take him down. Even Michael Johnson, who was a 45er, is just D'ing up takedowns out in the open. Conor McGregor's D'ing up takedowns out in the open. The other big thing, Khabib's takedowns always put him in guillotine threat. Here's 4 examples of him getting his neck snatched up in just trying to shoot takedowns. And I mean, look at this shit, dude. Look at this shit, man. Like, how do you look at these and go, oh yeah, well, but Charles Oliveira's not gonna put him in a guillotine because I mean, dude, I mean, come on, look at this, bro. He's getting his neck snatched in all of these examples. The other thing is that Khabib fights so cautious. Like Khabib, he needs to try to get Charles up against the fence, but anytime you pressure him, he always backs away and stays really safe. The difference is Islam is going to make you pay on the back foot. Khabib's not. He's just going to, like, awkwardly try to move away from you, and that's not great against Charles Oliveira, who's going to try to pressure. Exactly, my point right here. But the difference is, right, look at this example. Arman Tsarukyan, this is actually a great scramble, but Arman Tsarukyan was able to actually get in on takedowns because, you know, his freestyle wrestling ability is so high level. That's his background, is freestyle wrestling. But again, that is not Khabib's background. I mean, come on, bro, look at that shot. Look at how he stays on his knees after the shot. You know what I mean? Like, he stays on his knees on these takedown attempts, whereas, gauge how look at how Arman cuts the corner on this. Watch this. Oh, we'll wait for it to reset. Right? Look at how he cuts the angle on this. Boom! Look at that angle cut. That's just way higher level freestyle wrestling. And again, look at how Islam was able to deal with the pressure because he's a way better fighter than Khabib was. That works really well against Charles. This is not going to work really well against Charles. What else do we have? Charles would absolutely have the advantage out in the open. If he did end up off of his back out in space, if he did end up on his back out in space, he's going to have a big advantage. See here, when his head's getting pressed into the fence, he's going to struggle. But out in the open, dude, I mean, come on. You know, he's going to be way better. I think that's all I had. But yeah, I mean, there's not a good argument, dude. There's not a good argument elsewhere. There's just really not. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's hard for me, man. Like, Charles, you know, he's kind of ranked really low here. Like, you want me to rank Khabib higher? I think Arman beats Khabib. Charles beats Khabib. You know what I mean? Like, it's difficult. I can't, like, again, you just got to read the criteria that we used. You know what I mean? Like, this criteria, literally, like, what Khabib did does not fit this criteria at all, dude. You know? You know? Beautiful bet. Thank you for the 10 HK. If Khabib backs up like that versus Ilya, he's getting KO'd. For sure. That would be a scary one. Because you back up to the fence like that against Ilya, your odds of getting knocked out are going to raise through the fucking roof. Whoa! Jesus Christ, Ogre Online. I missed your $20. God damn. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Honestly, Alex and John are trying to call their own fight, and Dana, in an annoying power trip, he's not going to let them call a fight to his detriment. Dana's beef with fighters stops a lot of fan desired fights. Dana's annoying as fuck. That's the thing, man. It's like it's a shame that, like, I think what Dana needs to realize is that we all just want the best for the UFC. That's all we want. When we complain, it's because we want the best for the sport. That's it. But I feel like Dana, like, takes personal offense when people get mad at his decisions. You know what I mean? He takes, like, personal offense to it. He's like, it's like Dana, like, if you make a good, like, constructive criticism point to Dana, he like digs his nails into the ground and is like, no, he gets stubborn and just wants to, like, he wants to go, he takes personal offense to us just wanting the UFC to be better. You know what I mean? And it is annoying. It sucks. I wish Dana could just, like, understand that, like, we're all on the same team, man. But it feels like Dana, like, he wants to be, like, against the fans. Like, he hates the fans. He hates them. You know what I mean? You know, it really does suck. Thank you so much, Ogre Online. I really appreciate it, man. I can't say your name. But thank you for the $5. Khabib's win over Al Iaquinta reminds me of Jan's win over McGee. Just an elite fighter not performing at his best for some reason. I mean, I hear you, but, like, it wasn't for, he just wasn't performing at his best for some reason. I mean, dude, like, these are the reasons. Like, here are 4 reasons why he really struggled against Al Iaquinta. There are 4 reasons. He was really bad at shooting takedowns out in the open. He was really bad. His fence wrestling was absolutely elite. Absolutely elite. But this is what was happening to him rounds 3, 4, and 5. He couldn't take Al Iaquinta down out in the open. The problem is, though, Al Iaquinta's a really low-level fighter. Couldn't do anything else. But, like, dude, fuck. Arman Tsarukyan holding his ground out in the center. Elite wrestling. Elite strength. You know what I mean? Elite get-ups and scrambling, better wrestling. If Khabib blitzes at Arman Tsarukyan, Arman is going to try to take Khabib down. And I think Khabib would get back up off of Arman taking him down. But it's going to make him not want to blitz, and now he has to strike with Arman out in the center, who Arman's striking's improved a lot. I mean, Volkanovski's going to beat Khabib. I mean, listen, if Dustin Poirier fought Khabib with the exact same game plan that he had against Islam, I think he's going all 5 rounds. He's going all 5 rounds. Dustin got mauled because he kept trying to scramble. You know what I mean? If he just laid on his back like Conor did against Khabib, you know what I mean? He's going to make it all 5 rounds. Easy. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was just for some reason. Like, those are it's a pretty clear reason. Like, there are very clear game plan issue or stylistical deficiencies that he had. But again, like, it's just like, dude, you guys know, like, Justin Gaethje doesn't know how to grapple on the ground. He literally doesn't know how. Yet, like, it's, oh man, he dominated Gaethje. I'm like, well, you should. You should. I'd be surprised if he didn't. I'd be shocked if he didn't do that. Mean Big 8, thank you for the $10. Shay, who wins? Islam or a hypothetical fusion of Dustin and Justin? This fusion would have 2024 Dustin's jiu-jitsu game plan and prime boxing, and then Justin's power wrestling, kicks, and clinch work. I think Islam is still going to win that pretty handedly. I think Islam is still going to win that very handedly. I mean, you know, like Dustin, I think Justin's wrestling's good, but like his wrestling it's all just collegiate wrestling. Like, it's not like his wrestling's not built for MMA. Like when he was sprawling on Khabib, he was sprawling like it was a wrestling match and not a sport where you can get your back taken. You know what I mean? Like, I think Justin has good scrambles off takedown attempts, but those scrambles work really well against somebody like Michael Chandler, who has no jiu-jitsu. But like someone with any sort of like offensive jiu-jitsu is gonna maul him. And like Dustin Poirier, he does have jiu-jitsu, but like not offensively really. You know what I mean? He's gonna end up on his back. I mean, I think it's interesting. I think the calf kicks could be interesting. I think I think anybody against Islam, the game plan needs to be move forward with punches. He's going to use footwork and try to evade, and as he's evading, start slamming some calf kicks. That's what Volkanovski was doing to Islam, and it worked really well. And for some reason, nobody else has adopted that. Which I think that could be interesting. I think with a really good game plan, Dustin and Justin could win. I feel like I still have to favor Islam there, though, you know? Poker Online, they were there $10, dude. Jeez. If Alex and John ain't on the White House card, it ain't that hype. I don't care about Connor. Connor meat writers are annoying. He's old. He's old hype. They have a lot of fights they can do, but they would be a big one. I mean, that's the thing, dude. Fucking. Donald Trump said there's gonna be 8 title fights. There's just not going to be 8 title fights. Like there can't. What do you mean there's gonna be 8 title fights? Maybe if there's all 3 women fights, but Amanda Nunes and Kayla are fighting early next year. You know what I mean? So how the fuck's there going to be 8? I mean, realistically, what would they have on there? See, that's what I was kind of afraid of about the White House card, is I was afraid that it was going to kind of end up like the Sphere card, where it's hyped up as the greatest fucking card we're ever going to see, but really it's just because Dana relied on the venue being the allure to it and gave us a really shitty card. And I was really afraid the White House card was going to be the same thing. It's just going to be like, well, the allure, everyone's going to watch because it's on the White House, but because it's at the White House, we don't have to actually give any good fights. That's what I'm afraid of. I mean, like, I would love Connor Chandler, but I agree, like, Connor Chandler is not enough to carry that fight all on its lonesome. It's not enough to carry that fight all by itself. It's not enough. We need more than that. But again, it looks like John Jones isn't going to be the guy fighting for it. Maybe Islam Usman may be on there, maybe. Which sucks, but probably because they want an American fighting. You know what I mean? It's a shame, but I agree with you, man. Oh, let me see. Oh, sorry, I missed a few donos. I'm going back. Beautiful bed. Thank you for the 10 HK. Oh, no. You sent another one, I think. Right? Oh, beautiful bed. Thank you for the 10 HK. MMA aside, thoughts on the Lakers' chances this year? Dude, thank you for asking me about something I also really know about. Thank you. Dude, I think the Lakers could easily be title contenders this year. I think OKC is scary. I don't know if I favor anybody to realistically beat OKC unless fucking SGA or Chet fucking tears their Achilles. In all fairness, though, last season, again, OKC won the title last season. We beat OKC without a center right before the playoffs started. We beat them. I think it's possible. I think, though, the thing that scares me a little bit is I hope Austin Reeves can still perform during the playoffs. Austin Reeves is 100% an all-star caliber player. We just need him to perform this well during the playoffs. That's the one big thing. Beautiful bet. I got your second dono. Sorry, man. Thank you for another 10 HK. You missed my dono about the Lakers. Is this Bronze last year? I think it might be Bronze last year. He could still. The truth is, though, dude, Braun is still like last game he dropped like 25 points. Like, he could still play at an elite level. And because he's so skilled with the passing, he doesn't need to be like a scorer. He can still like be a facilitator, and like we have Austin and Luka to be our scorers. You know what I mean? Again, if Reeves can perform this well during the playoffs, we have a real fucking shot, man. We have a real shot. If Luka and Reeves are consistently combining for 65 points every single game during the playoffs, we have a good shot. And, you know, DeAndre Ayton's playing at a really high level now, too. I think we got a good shot. I think the 3 best teams in the league are OKC, the Spurs, and us. You know? I think it's interesting. Obviously, we beat the Spurs not that long ago. We also lost to them during the play-in tournament, but, you know. Colt Killer Gamer, thank you for the $2.79. That was a 155 max due against Habib. It's a good question. I think Max would have gotten annihilated by Khabib when they were initially going to fight on 4 weeks' notice. Because that just would have been the same version of Max that got destroyed by Dustin Poirier because he was not a properly sized 55er yet. Again, it's hard for me to accurately gauge Max Holloway's. It's very difficult for me to accurately gauge Max Holloway in the grappling. But I think you can devise a good game plan. I think he's so fast. I think Khabib was hard to hit. He was hard to hit clean. But like Max is so fucking quick and fast up at 55. I think you can devise a solid game plan for him too. But just trying to gauge how he deals with the grappling's hard. You know what I mean? That's the one thing that's really difficult. I think this fight against Charles will be very telling. I can't read your username. It's not popping up for me, but thank you for the $5. Was GSP well-rounded for his era, or would his depth and skill of category still be impressive today? I think it would have absolutely been impressive today. I mean, the way he would set up takedowns, so high level. His boxing was good. Really good kicks. Fucking spinning wheel kicks and spinning back kicks and fucking really high-level jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, you look at all of, like, GSP's individual coaches. You know what I mean? Viras Sahabi, MMA genius. Trained with the Danaher Death Squad and John Danaher for years. Trained with Freddie Roach in the boxing. Dude, dude, I really think he has probably the deepest bag the sport's ever seen. I think he has a deeper bag than Piotr. I think he has better subs. That's what I think. Another thing about Khabib, too, that I want to add, just looking at Conor McGregor here, is that, again, right, Conor McGregor, to me, was elite at 45, was never the same at 55 or welterweight. But you want me to punish Conor for moving up in weight? Again, Conor was murdering himself to make 145. So he moved up to 55, and he was never the same at 55 as he was at 45. So because he moved up and wasn't quite the same, I'm going to punish him. But Khabib, who was also murdering himself to make 55, he never ever moved up. He played it safe, never ever moved up, fought favorable competition. But Conor gets punished because he moved up and wasn't the same. I'm going to punish him for that. I can't do that, man. It's another thing. Tyson Tom, thank you for the $7 Canadian. If Dustin moves up to welterweight at any point in his career, does he win the belt? No. He does not win the belt. He does not win the belt at 170 ever. He never does. Never. But dude, he was 5'9", man. He was a little short. To make, especially like modern day welterweights, he was too short, man, too small. He was never gonna win the belt, no shot. Kendricks, thank you for the $2. Why have John on the list if you have him 10 for PEDs? I don't have him 10 for PEDs. I have him 10 because of his record and his level of competition. I don't care about PEDs. I'd be on PEDs if I was in the UFC. I don't give a fuck. I think everybody should be on PEDs. I think this is a really brutal sport that destroys your body. And if we let guys take PEDs, there'd be way less pullouts for injury. Beautiful bed, thank you for the 10 HK. How would you game plan for Ian versus Islam? He's way taller. The one issue I saw in the Bilal fight for Ian was when Bilal would rush in with an overhand, Ian would lean back and his head would go way behind his hips. To me, if someone's head is going to go way behind their hips, that is the perfect time to make them run into takedowns. Islam's not really known for closing the distance and throwing overhands. But I think like we have to find a way to pressure Ian Gary with strikes, and because Ian Gary is so tall and long, it's a big part of his muscle memory to again lean back to defend strikes, and his hips should be open. That's what I tried to say. Tyron McGregor. I'm sorry, I missed your dono earlier. I just saw. Thank you for the $5. Habib missed weight against Justin Gaethje and had a heart rate of 200 before the fight. He admitted in an interview the only reason the fight happened was local. Yeah, for sure. I mean, Justin Gaethje was supposed to be the guy that's known for like he thrives in the fire, forehead to forehead with you. Like he's gonna fucking break you. Like he loves those frantic, crazy fights. But he broke against Khabib. He had already lost that fight before the fight even started. Yeah, I know what interview you're talking about. He said, like, I usually wake up for fights, my heart rate's at like 150, 160. He's like, I woke up against Khabib at 190. Like, dude, you already lost the fight before you went out there, man. So 100% I agree with you, Tyron. I agree with you there, Tyron. You're dead on the money there. Colt Killer, give me the $70. What do you think about the Chiefs being out of the playoffs? I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't watch much football. Tyron McGregor, thank you for another $2. I'm sorry I missed your dono, bro. I'm sorry. We got back to it, though. Kendrick, thank you for the $2. Is GSP's resume not comparable to Jones? I mean, I think, well, at the end of the day, man, like, your resume is the resume is not everything. You have to be able to gauge these guys' skills for their skills. You know what I mean? And I think that GSP, way deeper bag. I think John, again, I think his skills are very good. His skills are why he's at where he's at. But for example, the boxing defense of John Jones is literally the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, literally the worst I've seen in my life. I don't think GSP has any, glaring hole in his game nearly that bad. I think that, a lot of John's past wins are, former middleweights. I don't think a lot of GSP's former wins were lightweights moving up. I don't think that's true. I think the Cyril Gane wins aged well, but that's only because Cyril Gane has improved his grappling a lot since the John Jones fight. I mean, Cyril Gane said after the John Jones fight, he's like, okay, I've got a problem. And I need to fix my grappling. I need to fix it. Frankly, he actually wasn't a bad grappler before because of his athleticism, but he just didn't have any jiu-jitsu fundamentals, really. And he's like, I need to fix this. And he has fixed this, and he's a lot better now. But that's a big reason why that aged well. So I mean, I think I think it's understandable to say some of his past, he fought during a different time. But if I'm just looking at everything that he was capable of skill wise, I think he absolutely still competes with everybody today. Kendrick, thank you for the $2. Okay, so more of the best of all time. I respect it. I mean, yeah, but yes, yeah, but to me, that's what I think greatness is. You know what I mean? Again, everybody wanted to be oh, this isn't even a GOAT list; it's a BOAT list. I'm like, well, why? I mean, greatness is already a very subjective thing in the first place. You know what I mean? To me, this is great. This is what I define as greatness, in my opinion. I don't care if you got a million accolades if really those accolades aren't actually that impressive. That's not greatness to me. Again, I always represent, when it comes to basketball, if you go, oh, who's your greatest fighter of all time? If you say LeBron James, someone's going to go, no, Michael Jordan was better. It's oh, better. So not greater, better. I mean, it's all it's kind of hard. You know what I mean? Just in my opinion, the way I look at MMA, that's my version of, that's who I think the greatest guys are. That's what I think. Oh, beautiful bet. Thank you for the 10 Oh, you meant for Ian. Ian. What's Ian's game plan against Islam? Oh, I mean, listen, maintain range, a lot of teeps. Keep that lead hand down for the takedowns, get underhooks. Try not to fight in the pocket with Islam. Try not to fight in the pocket. Fighting in the pocket is just going to open up the takedown attempts. Kind of do what he did against Bilal, I guess. Try not to lean back as much, but that's going to be hard to do. But I think for Ian, frankly, Islam is the one that kind of has to change his game a little bit to fight Ian. Ian, I don't think it's really the same. You know what I mean? For Islam, it's you need to be closing the distance against a 6'3", rangy, really good footwork guy. Whereas Ian, it's you just keep doing what you're doing, man. Alrighty, guys. I guess it's time I bid you all adieu. I love you all. I appreciate you coming. I will see you all later.